Go ahead.
Okay, we'll start the Shade Tree Commission meeting with a roll call. Chairperson Colton is here. Member Hohenheim,
Here.
Danishmiller,
Yep.
Burdette, Gordon, Lutz,
Here.
one, Armstrong. No, but that gives us quorum, so we can open the meeting. Oh, and Chairperson Talrico is here also on Zoom, whatever they call it.
Council.
Yeah, council.
Can you hear us now, Grace Ann?
Yes, thank you very much. Hi, everyone.
So the notice requirements of the open public meeting law for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Essex Press and the Coast of Posting and Town Hall, filed in office of the Township Clerk on June 30th, 2026. This meeting will be recorded and available on Ocean Township's YouTube channel. All right, there were minutes from the last meeting, and anyone get a chance to review them? Okay, anyone have any comments to the minutes? Wait till then. Okay, anyone want to move that we accept the minutes?
Ed?
Let's move it to.
I'll second.
Conrad is doing the same, seconding, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so minutes are approved. Okay, so, now move on, are there any, suggested agenda, changes?
Yeah, just additions. I received an email from Steve Hagan. A woman had reached out that she had noticed a tree had come down. So we'll talk about a tree in Dave DeRue Park. A tree had come down and replacing that. So that's one. And the other one is meeting with a talk with Dave, who wanted to know more information. This commission asked me to send the tree plan I've written up to all the interested parties, and Dave, talk to me about that, and I wanted to give you some feedback about that.
Okay. All right, so the first thing ordinarily is the two permits and violations and so on and so forth that Bill Brooks is involved with. And I did speak to him yesterday, and he said he was going to write something up and get it to Donna, but Donna didn't get anything, and he did send it to me. I went out about it, bear with him, I got today. And but for now, we'll just pass on.
Okay.
Bill did tell me that he's obviously he's leaving the community area, but until all those things are settled for where he's going, if everything's set up, there's no life, and everything else, he'll still be on the job. And he's working with
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, who's in DP, and
DPW.
DPW.
Not the big.
Okay, I'm on the roll tonight. It's all downhill, so I can see that. Yeah. So he and Tom Hardy have been going out and looking at things, and he's got very good vibes from working with Tom. And I didn't get a chance to find out if Tom was going to be joining us at our meetings and so on and so forth. I haven't had a chance to talk to Steve about that and so on and so forth. But well, hopefully that'll happen. And because there was a time, I think before Steve, that when some of the members of Public Works did attend our meetings. So we're going to get that to happen.
So is this gonna be a change from having somebody like Bill, part-time, to somebody like Tom Hardy who's gonna be on the payroll?
Well, Tom's on the payroll, okay, but I would assume that since he's a supervisor in Public Works, I assume that there'll be sort of part-time for him a bit. Which in a way, now, will he be spending as much time as Bill did and everything, and so on and so forth? Like, Tom will tell. We'll see how that works.
There's a shifting of it to Public Works out of the other departments. So, I think hopefully it'll be more connective tissue if we say, we need a tree here, and they are the people who put it out to bid and do it, and they know what they've got in stock, and it happens pretty quick.
Well,
Hopefully we can.
You took the words out of
I
my
know where
mouth.
you're going.
And because we've had this discussion with Steve Higgins about, having Public Works take over these responsibilities, so
And it was
hopefully
in
we
the-
can make this transition work.
And it was in the plan, it was in our community information management plan. We were not gonna have the money, it seems to be able to hire to do a complete shade tree department in public works, and I think a lot of that is increased costs and overruns with flooding and a huge amount of costs this town is gonna have to be incurring now for flood damage that they're facing. The township is really up against this. I think so, but I do think we're trying to work in-house and do this as efficiently and effectively as possible. So that hopefully it will be the case.
The only thing that's missing, I think, is the expertise right now.
They're all training, they're all going to seminars and webinars and they're training up. So,
Okay.
and if we need a real expertise for certain projects, then we look for grants, we look for ways to hire people, we bring in people when we need specific expertise. But in terms of the permitting and stuff, yeah, hopefully they will be trained enough to be able to do that.
Well, I know that they're taking courses, okay? They'll take more courses, there'll be recommendations for courses, et cetera, et cetera. Before Bill goes, we'll want to try and get his recommendations for any advice, things like that, and so on and so forth. There's also various things, that they could be looking at independently, okay? That aren't necessarily, and they're free even, because it turns out I'll jump to the CEUs type things.
Before we jump to see you guys, one thing with Bill leaving, just add, would it be I think it would be nice to Shade Tree Commissioner wrote a letter wishing him well, thanking him for his service and wishing him well.
Yeah.
We do get
Okay.
agreement on doing that.
Right, so,
Write him a nice note to the Shade Tree Commission.
All right, so let's all, right, I'll try and put a few words out there, you can do the same, whoever can. No, I didn't know. Well, you thought, no, anything. Do what you gotta do, and we'll be in good shape.
So if we wrote a letter just congratulating him on his, wishing him luck and thanking him for his service, is there we have agreement here that we can sign up for the Shade Tree Commission, put everybody's names on it?
Yeah.
And just get that out. Then I can take a whack at that and I can send it to you and you can get it.
Yeah,
Is he actually moving?
He's
Well,
moving,
yeah,
he's
South
moving to
Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah, he's gone.
I believe it's South Carolina.
So how will Tom Hardy be attending our meetings?
That's to be determined. That's what I'm saying. I don't know yet.
Because if he is, then we don't have to worry about connectivity and
Yeah.
communications. If he isn't, then does that on his fall on you to make sure you're communicating everything that happens at these meetings?
We're gonna see if he can come, because the more he feels like he's a part of this, I think we all feel better about it.
He's a good guy, and he's got a lot of responsibility, but I think that we want to try and push that if we can. Even if he can't even be here physically, but he could call in. And
Yeah.
so at least I think, so I've got to talk to Steve about that.
Okay.
Yeah, if we want to put back any change, we're really.
And, I've got a few things to suggest to him. Some of these things that we use for CEUs, these two things, the one called backyard forestry and urban forestry today, which is a Massachusetts operation, both of those kinds of CEUs and stuff, but they have a whole library of things, okay? One of the things I saw for CEU last year, I think, the beginning of the year, was called something like Street Trees and the Law, okay? This particular one covered why, if you've got a program to maintain your trees and everything, then you're sort of covered. But if you've never looked at anything, and a tree suddenly falls down and kills someone, you're totally. So that's a quick summary of this thing.
You're talking about New Jersey? These are produced by New Jersey or national?
Well,
Because when we talk about the law, then
backyard forestry is the New Jersey Forestry Association. I can't remember if it was that or if it was one of the ones from University of Massachusetts. But I'm pretty sure, to me, liability laws don't vary that much from state to state. I would think not. And so I can't say. But it was still quite educational, to see the kind of things that they talk about. Then you have a bunch of other things.
I'm sure you benefit from anything you send as well. That's great.
the one thing that's concerning is knowing when to say, I don't know. Because a lot of tree experts really have years and years of experience and can look at something and say, whereas novices, like me, can go up and look at a tree and,
Right,
you know, wonder what's going
I
on.
watched one or two that were about winter tree identification. Lots of luck. Yeah. There was some tough stuff.
Yeah, it's hard.
And I have to say that there are tree experts who are certified tree experts who get it wrong too. They got,
Oh, yeah.
my big dead tree came down and they told me it's fine after studying.
Many arborists
Pruning
have
it.
been wrong.
Arborists, it's not a perfect
Yeah.
science.
Yeah.
That's right,
Well, you've got to,
especially when everything's hidden behind a.
It's,
I mean,
you
you've
do
got-
your best.
you've got to go past the visual examination to be approved at next, so sort of the next rate.
Actually, I was talking to Bill, last week, and he was telling me, when he was taking Tom around, they were looking at a tree, and it sort of looked all right, but he took out a hammer and just started banging, and could hear how hollow it was. And then took it down, and sure enough, it had, like, he said, a couple of inches around the edge, and the rest was gone.
Right.
That's the problem.
So are they doing a site visit on every permit?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're supposed to.
Bill has been doing
Well, I just assume if they're like some of these nuisance trees, like or maple or something, it's just like, yeah, sure.
it. No, well, first of all, someone's got to tell you, that it's, they'll say it's a, it's true, it's a sick tree, dead and dying tree. But if you don't look at it, you find it. And second,
They're
even,
counting on them.
and even the things that we consider nuisance trees, like Norway maples, which by the way are listed in the next item number 2, but they're still trees, and they're still there, and if, as far as flooding and someone is concerned, they're still performing a valuable service. Related to that sort of stuff. You wouldn't, prefer any number of trees. But this one's like 30 feet high.
Right.
Take it out and replace it.
Yeah, I just was
It'll
trying
be
to see
30 years till it's.
anything was streamlined for being problematic
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah, so anyway, so Patty had sent something out a while ago, and I think of this, looking at it, a while back, So I just wanted to mention to everyone, looking at this list of trees that are on there, some of which I will admit I've got on my property and planted even, so on and so forth, because they spread, like barberries. A lot of people have red leaf barberries all over the place, but they seed, and they anonymous, burning bushes, they have a habit of sowing seeds, so on and so forth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a few things that I wasn't really familiar with. Some of them just told me weeds and so on and so forth.
Right.
They didn't bother with this sweet bill because it's really, except for the way it reproduces, that would be the most popular tree in America.
Yeah.
I have a couple in my yard. I mean, they clean up the balls, but they're certainly nice trees.
So they're attractive, they're growing in the sun, they're shade, wet, dry, and they're beautiful.
Good for wildlife, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice leaf color in the fall.
Right.
So what is this act?
So they actually in January, and did I put a link to it?
Yeah.
I think I sent it out.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, who did I send it to? I sent
So,
it to everybody on the committee, right? Just
Yeah.
the other day? Yeah, so I think it was signed in January this year.
Yeah, that's right.
And it starts off with a little list. Patty had sent something out, I think, earlier this year. She said someone said
I
something.
don't remember.
But there was, they cut the list out. But it talks about various things. And I thought that, it talked about, the thing I remember when I read it a while back, I didn't read it again, okay, but I think it said though, that if people have these things in stock, like say if someone at the nursery has Norway maples in stock, they can sell them for 10 more years. So they've got to whatever year it is. What is that?
I was gonna say that some of these are still available in the nursery marketplace right now.
Yeah, and
Especially the barberry.
the law allows them to sell them for 10 years or whatever it is.
Well, it's hard to tell the companies to take them off the shelf, basically.
It's hard, if you've already invested in something, it's a hard time to take a look, which is, sort of Chinese imported.
Yeah, I mean, in some nurseries, some big nurseries, I mean, like, the Prince Nursery was, I think they had acres of like trees. So it's just unfortunate that I think they're not can't anymore, et cetera, et cetera.
So is there a way we can put the list up on our website so that if people are looking for trees to plant or not to plant? I mean, we talked about that, of recommended
I think
trees.
I think we'll work on it, but I think we should put the act itself, okay? And up on there, and highlight the list of trees that have been determined to be invasive and so on. So my daughter lives in Maryland, in Montgomery County, which one's
I grew up there.
and they've got all kinds of which they would go over as invasive species and so on. So it's not precise, not to use except you really have to actually identify the place that's okay. Yeah, which one and so on and so forth.
But I still think if we put this on our website, you know, to start out with the trees we do recommend. So it's sort of more positive than negative.
Yeah, I agree. And we have the list, you also can come up with a list, we still have a list of
Well,
trees that we.
we've got to review those, though. There's so many things on there that people, don't list. We actually had the Monmouth County list, except there are things, once they publish a list, there's things that are no longer viable on the list. You know, so you got to review the list, compare it against this and other things that people know that makes them not as desirable. And then clean it out.
You know, we just need a short list. We don't need
These are, we don't have to say it's the only tree you can plant, these are the preferred trees.
No, but-
And we have the Davis
No, but
report
the
that
more you-
says what should be the preferred trees.
No, but the more you make it, the more you limit it, the closer you come to creating a mountain.
It's 10 trees.
But we have,
The rest of it is shrubs and things like that.
That's what I'm saying. So 10 trees is basically a monoculture.
No, but it could be 20.
we have
I'm
the list,
Sorry, it's 10 species, 10 different species.
Species, yeah. So we need to, I'm saying, we need to,
But the law does not require anybody to remove anything that's already planted.
I mean, it's, we also, the Davies report, we basically recommended the most, we could say these are the most highly recommended trees that our studies here show, and we could put the ones the Davies report, you know, says we should do. Then we submitted to DEP, put that list in, and then say, these are the invasive ones to
Well,
avoid.
we could also say there are other trees you might want to plant, but avoid these.
Right, avoid these, yeah,
Right.
these are the preferred, not like, we don't do a comprehensive list, just like, these are the top ones we wanna say, these are the ones to avoid, and it just doesn't have to be a, big list, and then a link to the act, right? You know,
If we could have the list at our meeting next meeting and look at it.
the date.
Well, let's bring it and say, yeah, okay, here it is. Let's look at the wording and,
we'll pass it out. Anything we see, we'll share and we'll discuss.
and just do it.
So, okay, so then we have this is your committee meeting.
No, it is not the meeting, Julia is not involved, Julia is not involved in the program, so she was part of it, and then, we got the the subcommittee was originally designed to prepare and do the work that was needed to help get the comprehensive forest report out, which did. So now, it hasn't been, not that it can't meet again, but we can review it in the fall and see if it's something we want to do. But hopefully, this commission can do forward.
Okay, so for now, we'll remove it from the agenda per se.
Yeah, for now, but, there are other.
Okay, so this is the tree giveaway course. Okay, so we had the tree giveaway, which was pretty successful. We gave away a lot of stuff. Okay, and I had a bunch of stuff with Diane Sullivan had some also. I think she could read most of hers.
She did.
In fact, her grandson got a tree at from the third graders. They also got trees, and his tree did nothing. So, but luckily, that happened to be a variety tree that whatever it was.
black gum or something.
Black gums. But
This is what-
this is a black.
Yeah.
So I had to have some still in, but some of the ones I still had left, I put them in 3-gallon containers with the compost they call it, that the town gets from the leaf bottle. So they sifted out the rocks. It's about 20, 12 buckets and 2 buckets of rocks. But anyway, but it's pretty good at using the soil. So anyway, I had a bunch of those, and so she came over and got me. It's still doing okay. She told me it's very happy. And but I still got a few other things. So
Worm, can I ask a question?
anyone that wants a tree, we, they're in small. Yes, ma'am.
So I got 3 from the giveaway, and they're probably about 3.5 feet tall now. When do I transpose them into the ground?
Well, you mean you've got them in pots?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the key is when you can get them out of the pot, without just bare rooting them, sort of, So you tug on a little, or you wait. But I would say, with the risk of getting, say if it's bare root, if it's even bare root, in all likelihood, you can bare root it after the leaves are off. So I would wait until the leaves are off it this year, until the fall, and then verify that it's got a good root ball. Because if you wanted to leave it in the pot again, because most of these trees are hardy enough that they probably would survive above ground, even with the winter that we had last year. We've got a lot of stuff that's been in pots for years. So, but I would say, waiting until it doesn't have any leaves on it gives you the greatest guarantee of success, I would almost say, than if you do something now.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also really hot now, and you'd have to, it fall's a better time to put it in ground.
Yeah, I would say in the meantime, though, if you've got a spot you want to plant it, you can prepare that spot so that when you're ready to plant it, you don't have to just, dig a hole, and of course, the hole you're going to dig only when you're actually planting it, even though you might want to make the hole, the way you loosen the hole bigger, when you're actually planting it, obviously the hole's only going to be as big as whatever size container you've got it in. To put it in there.
Okay. So I should definitely do it in the fall, not wait till next year.
Well, you could wait till next year, but by planting it in the fall, there's a good likelihood that even though above ground not much is happening, trees do work below the ground during the rest of the fall and even through the winter.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. I mean, they're beautiful trees. They're absolutely beautiful. I got a dogwood, a magnolia, and a lilac.
Nice,
Keep them well watered.
I will. Thank you.
yeah, they're.
Yeah, but that's yeah, you should be, so now's the time to think about, do a little more, go back and look them up a bit and see how big they're actually going to be getting on you also. So that may make a difference on where you decide you're going to plant. Feel free to sit at the table.
No, we're not at the table. If you could sit in the audience, they're not supposed to sit at the table
Oh,
with the commission.
thanks so much for the hospitality. Okay, good.
I'm trying to do things by the book.
I know, that's good. It shouldn't-
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, so if anyone does know anyone who's interested in some seedlings, they can track me down or get the word to me, and I can tell them what I've got maybe. And
Do you have a lot left?
of those, there's maybe 15 pots with stuff in them, something like that. Plus, not counting a few oaks and stuff that are from the previous giveaway. Somehow still in this big. Okay, so that's so moving on. Talk about CEUs. Okay, so when we get to continuing education, so I think the DPW is probably maybe satisfied that for us, except that they have to have their people. First of all, to be fully certified under NG, New Jersey Urban Community Forestry, okay? You have to have at least two people, one person, you don't need a lot of people involved. You only need two people. One has to be a township resident, and one has to be a township employee. Now, the more you have, obviously, the better you can get that covered, okay? And those people, not just that, they have people who've taken what they call core training. Core training.
Not in New Jersey
New
matters.
Jersey
Florida
Urban Community
matters.
Forestry, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, so, that's something you might think about. I think, they can do it online, or I think they even do it when they have the Treasury Federation, annual get together.
who delivers this?
Coming up in October, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Like, is it through Rutgers Extension who delivers it?
Well, the course itself, was delivered by, the Urban Community Forestry, people, the state forester. Like when I took it, Ken took it, the state forester, whoever that was at that time, was presented. We went to Rutgers somewhere. And
Yeah.
took it. But the old operation for it is a DEP
Okay.
operation. People who work that, DEP.
And so how frequently you said this has to happen?
But you only have to take it once ever.
All of us or just
No.
one of us?
Well, anyone who's core trained, they're core trained. It talks about the law, like at the very beginning, they hadn't even issued the license. When we took it, they were going to issue a tree license. And the funding, and that money that the tree license plate collected was going to go into the funding, for the urban community forestry program.
Okay,
In October,
I'll look at it.
October 22nd and 23rd is the New Jersey Tree Federation 101st meeting.
Wow.
Are there,
That's a lot of time.
I'm not even that old.
When you look at that,
But you can certainly get core training there, and anybody who attends gets 5 CEUs a day. And so for our next meeting, we're going to think about budgeting to send, one or more people there.
we'll see. We only need a total of 8 CEOs.
Yeah, but
And
In a year or in
In a
one
year, in a year. And two people, one person can't get all 8 CEOs, but if one person gets 7,
So is Tom getting someone?
Well, it turns out the courses that you take, for example, last year, Gene Armstrong had some courses he was taking because he is, it's tree service, and he's got continuing things he has to do. And we covered some of that, okay?
Okay,
But I personally would like to see us all get some CEOs, because the courses that they have, these monthly things, like the Massachusetts one is not doing it right now. Okay, but the backyard forestry they call it, and it's from New Jersey, and that's one practically every month. I get an email about it, and then I'll try to remember to pass it out as they go along.
all I'm saying is some people on the commission may want to attend the meetings.
Right.
If so, they'd at least be able to pay for the attendance,
Right.
as we have in the past.
Right.
okay.
having a PhD is not enough practice. It literally makes you a tree doctor.
No,
You're Dr. Tree.
it's fine if it's like, I don't know. If there's one that's
It's
interesting
crazy.
that I have,
Yeah. Good one.
With raises, get with the program.
No, barely.
Nothing but
I want their house.
not to put anything out that's obvious. No, but I think.
So if we need 8 in a year, how many do we have up to this point
I think we're fine for this
for
year.
2026?
Well, I'm not sure, but I suspect we're fine based on public roads guys, except that no residents has. I haven't taken.
Gene Armstrong's a resident. He has.
Yeah, but you'd have to classify his. Well, how about we can?
Because he said he had.
They're not out to get us, so I think we should all make it a point to get one. I'll pass out the next ones. From the back.
And Shade Tree will cover the cost of enrolling these?
Well, all these backyard forestry things are just when you get you say you get an email that I get from them, you click on the email, you just register, there's no fee,
Okay.
register, and they'll send you a thing reminding you that the thing is today or tomorrow. And you sit there for about an hour,
Learn something.
watching something, and some of them there's hundreds of people, and so on and so forth. And they're educational, and interesting, and
Then after
I know.
they stamp something that says you did it.
There's a code at the
usually
end of
at
the
the end,
webinar.
at the very end, there's a code that they show you. So I always take a picture of the screen.
Okay.
And then you can go online, somewhere there you can find a certificate, and you put it on it. You just tell them. The people at Urban Community Forestry want us to succeed. It's not like they're going to be out to take away CEUs or something like that.
Right.
So they're all part of it. They're very, very proactive when the positive. Their job is to help us.
I don't know if the core, course costs like that.
So that's
Yeah, I'll look at the website.
So
Thanks.
so we have a guest here.
We're not, I have other agenda items.
Oh.
But I'm not- Sorry.
Tom Harms.
Yeah, I wanted to just update, there was an email from a woman named Desiree Hader.
Yeah.
Who was in Monmouth, and she was in the, Dave Giroux, I don't know how to pronounce it. Dave Giroux Park, and she noticed that a tree had fallen over. Now, obviously, we lost a lot of trees in storms.
I thought I heard that they lost 3 or 4 trees.
Well, this particular tree that they lost, she noticed there was a plaque, next to it, going forward, and it was a plaque dedicated to the children who had died in their blood. So she would like to
Those
have,
might have been those trees along the street. That's where I think we put the plaques up.
yeah, I'm not sure where it is, but she would like to, know if, we could replace the tree. Stephen sent this to me, I think this, it's kind of a no-brainer. You want to replace a tree that has a plaque to dead children, but I think, they also have some trees that they bought from Sunset Farms, DPW, so Steve's looking into that. And we'll see how we can replace that tree in the fall. when it's
If
better.
that tree was, we can find out what type of tree it was. It's a-
Yeah, I've asked that.
Okay, and if that tree was part of a group plan, then that might affect how large a tree you might try.
Right.
Depending.
Right, so we'll get a little more information, but
So that information is worth doing, but I think.
Because the part of the park, is very dense with trees. And if a tree gets lost there, we may not even miss it. It's not gonna change the overall canopy.
Right, there's a lot of trees right along Logan Road, that are a few notice.
I'll
so,
go look. I played pickleball there about.
so if you can take a look, that'd be great. But if it's appropriate to replace that tree or replace a tree somewhere in that park with plaque, I think we should just decide now as a commission that we would, either using a tree that DPW has if they have an appropriate tree, or using shade tree funds to put in the right kind of tree there that would match, replace what we lost. And we can move forward with this, and not wait.
But I think you can let them know something.
Can I add one thing? When I was over at the Wanamasa school, there's also a tree that the principal had asked if we could replace, and there's a placard there as well for a child who passed. So I was hoping we could add that to this list.
Just schools are,
We have to ask, they have to,
Well, yeah, technically speaking, those schools are not considered to be township property. However, when we were doing the, going to do the, pre-inventory, we did get we sort of got an agreement with what they call them, Ocean Township Schools, they like to call themselves, okay? Ocean Township Schools, that they would be a part of that, and support and more activities, et cetera, and we did inventory all the trees, past a certain size, that were on all the school properties and so on and so forth. So theoretically, we should even look into that tree, may have even been on the inventory that we have in Tree Keeper
Can you forward, that information to us?
Oh,
We
sure.
have it.
It's
Yeah.
Principal Bosman. I
Right,
can
you
send
have-
it to you. I can send it to you right now.
Thank you, so just send it all so we can see, and then I'll talk to Steve again, let's see, okay? You're gonna go look at the tree, see what
Yeah.
came down and dig your.
I'll send an email.
Great, and we'll see what it is, and then we'll have fun, because we don't wanna put anything into the wall anyway. Right, so,
Well, we're almost there.
we're almost there, but that's, maybe we can have all our ducks in a row by our next meeting and then just act.
Yeah.
Should be good. All right, so that's one thing I had to bring up. The other thing, was the tree plan that I wrote that the commission asked me to send to David, the mayor, and everyone. They got back to me and they were sending it, they're discussing it with DPW and with the town engineer, Greg, and everyone is looking at this and they seem pretty enthusiastic actually about it. They're going to be talking about changing some of the ordinances that we're talking to the council. The two ordinance changes are that the township would be responsible, it's our recommendation, the township be responsible for the removal of trees on township property, so that's something they're gonna look at seriously. And the other one is that just to make it clear that shade tree funds, if we created, are gonna adopt a tree technical program to try to get more tree lined streets, that we could use shade tree funds to plant on the homeowner side of the sidewalk to create tree line trees. So those are two changes that are made clear. Greg or someone said that there was actually in another ordinance somewhere that that's okay and the planning, but we're just like, but I said, well, here it says no. So we're gonna try to make it clear so we can. So those, they were enthusiastic about. They love the idea of trying to do more urban parks or green infrastructure along CB Square, Middlebrook, in that area. What they want me to do, and what they're gonna look at is like, what are the grants that are available to do this kind of work? And what are the requirements for these grants? Like what size does it have to be to qualify for a grant? So I called up my buddies at DEP and got some names of some people who are in charge of those programs, and we'll be reaching out, trying to get some info on some of these grants and what the basic criteria are before we do that. They also love the idea of just doing the Blue Acres because that's a pretty low budget thing to kind of, there was an issue with someone who was dumping on that one site by the spot, with just west of the public work of the sewer treatment plant where the flooding area is, where they took down all the senior housing. What is it called? It's a Blue Acre site now in town, but about managing it better. It's not about planning more, it's just about not cutting it down and managing it better. So we create- Yeah, it's right, you know where it is. And it's basically creating that as a park and trying to get that through DEP.
We did plant some seedlings over there.
There's tons of stuff growing there. You just have to not cut it all down and pick which ones you let grow and then fix up the gazebo and have access. You get rid of the junk and clean it up and you could do it and maintain it. It's about maintenance. So, and they like that idea. And the Poplar Brook Greenway, they're like, look, there's tons of trees there. It's really more about maintenance and maintaining it so that Poplar Brook doesn't flood and overflow. So that's an ongoing discussion. But this is a 5-year plan, so we're just baby steps getting it going. So that's where that is.
What do you think the timeline is for that ordinance?
I'm hoping this fall. Grace Ann would appreciate any support, anything you can do for that.
How'd you say that?
Yeah.
I did ask that when it's put on the agenda, if they would invite you to come to answer any questions or, have any discussion about it. And Dave Brown said he would absolutely do that. Did not give me a date though of when it would be put on the agenda, but I did ask for it as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Well, just let us know. Thank you very much. So soon, hopefully. And that's all I got.
Okay, so our guest, can you introduce yourself? Are you here at the Shade Tree Commission meeting or for the Environmental Commission meeting?
For this, I've come the past few times.
Yes.
Years later.
About
Yes,
the
I
flat
got it.
trees on your
Your hair looks very nice.
hydro house.
I'm sorry, for the record, there's balayage.
Thank you.
Yes.
There are still no replacement trees planted Bill Brooks said last time that was the last thing he was gonna make sure of before he left. I'm assuming he's gone now or leaving.
Are we still here? But I saw that in the minutes here.
That was in the minutes, yeah.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Which did you refresh my brain?
31 Marshall Drive, he cut down 500-year-old trees, and Bill Brooks let him with the promise that he would replant 5 trees. And because he can't find the permits, he said in the movie, he can't find them. I have no idea when they were actually cut. I don't know how long it's been, but I started coming here in May, so it's been at least since before May that this, yeah. So I'm not gonna stop coming until these are planted.
Good.
What's the window of time?
Yeah, is there a window of time they're supposed to plant or no?
I can't say it. But
Yeah, that's a, can you raise that to the bill?
Yeah, you've been coming since the May meeting.
Yeah, certainly.
looking to-
Circle and arrows, all right, we'll raise this with Bill.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then, when Bill's gone, we will raise it with
With the new
the new
person.
guy.
Okay, thank you.
So, just so I'm clear, Bill verbally said at the meeting and told you that he had an
Yes.
agreement with the owner, and it was in writing somewhere?
I'm assuming, but he said he lost it all. Cause yeah.
Yeah, he says Bill Brook advised it was unable to locate his field notes concerning the family request for tree removal. Explaining that I believe your mother expressed concern about the health of the trees, which she believed to be on township owned property, and wanted the town to remove dead, dying, innocent trees. It was later determined that the trees were actually located along a private driveway owned by the resident and was the responsibility of the homeowner. So that's the person that moved in, right? So,
Yes.
so the trees were removed. Bill said that the new owner is currently in violation of the mitigation plan and is expected to replant 5 trees. And that he would make it a priority to contact this person, and that he'll continue to monitor the situation.
Yeah, the only thing I know about that is the one that was struck by lightning for sure was dead. That's,
Yeah.
he only, apparently there was poison ivy on the others, but you can just pull that off. My mom I never got poison ivy. She did that my whole life. She would just pull it off.
Great woman.
Yeah, so,
All right, we will
okay,
do what we can. Bill's in transition of meeting.
yeah. I figure it's a horrible timing, yes, for this.
The fall is coming, it's a great time to plant trees. Let's do it.
Okay, thank you.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
New guy.
Okay,
Anything else?
anything else exciting? Okay, anything for the Shade Tree Commission?
Can't have your hand raised. It's very polite.
Since Bill Brooks first came here, I had been after him to get things in a computer, get things organized, and how many years it's been, and nothing has really been done. And, I mean, keeping track of all these permits and so on, and block numbers could be done in an Excel spreadsheet. It doesn't take any brains to do that. Yet nothing was ever done, and I think now that he's going and we're transitioning, maybe we can get DPW to get things organized properly, and so they can keep track of things. I think they're better in a better position to do it than Bill was.
So you're saying there's no record of everything that was permitted?
It was all on paper, and then of course the papers.
Where's the file?
I mean, we have the records, but we don't have,
We can't find the records.
we don't have let's look this
So
up.
everything should be, there should be a digital copy of every single thing.
It's more than that, because if you're given permission to take down a tree, and that permit, and so you're allowed to take down, let's say, X number of trees within a 3-year period. And you come back the next year and apply again, somebody on it needs to be able to look up your lot and block number and say, no, you already given this, rather than, just
Rely on
shuffling through
memory,
papers
yeah.
that somehow get lost.
We have enough, wish Bill well, and he has a way of doing things, with new incoming person.
Yes.
We have an opportunity to modernize and make this more efficient.
Exactly.
Well, it should just be a system where you click on a property and see the history of what's been done.
Exactly.
Whether it's tree or
Anything.
any permit that's on that property should exist in one place for
And
each property.
I think we need to, clearly express to DPW that this is what we need. We need to be able to have access and be able to find it. And the other piece, and I'm gonna bring it up for the record, is that we have not got a planting or a planting plan for the terrace. And fall's coming, and we put in trees. We've done the Carolina or whatever it was that killed the roots, things that had to be killed that were invasive. Well, now that should be good and done. It's time to plant. We should not go past the fall. We have the budget and the shade tree to do it. We gotta do that. And so I don't know who could do that. Bill is gonna be gone, so I don't know. It's really just about planting some more trees in the space.
I'm gonna talk to him, I'll call him tomorrow.
Okay, well, if it's not capable of doing them, we'll find another member.
No, I already volunteered to do 2 things.
Well, walk
Take it on the new guy.
I'll walk it with you. You know, if you're,
Well, we should be able to.
See what happens when you open your mouth.
I know that he had it.
Never.
So let me find out.
I volunteer for the east.
and otherwise, stop from Arnie and.
They suck you in.
Yeah, go ahead. Or we work with the people who've been training up at DPW to create a simple tree plan, just place some trees. They just wanted some more barrier trees for the highway. It's not.
Correct, not a problem. Okay, so it's, all right, so it's 7:55.
You are allowed to end early.
We are.
It's a real thing.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Letch, move the adjournment, second,
Second,
All in favor?
all in favor?
I.